about that.
Again, we're in that era of going beyond low Earth orbit now with humans, headed back to Moon and potentially one day to Mars with the Artemis program. And it is a thrilling time, as you mentioned earlier. So much taking place within the solar system, the near solar system now, and it's fascinating. Great time to be in human space.
Awesome.
I think I'd be a little bit nervous to go to an asteroid, so,
Wise
so
woman.
I'm super glad the spacecraft did it, and we'll set the pace and show us how to do it. But
Absolutely.
I think maybe you'll practice a little bit more before we go, because it's a dangerous environment learning about it.
So
much
Sunny and Butch, thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully you'll stick around for more of the show.
Yeah,
All right, congratulations,
Thank you, guys.
everybody out there.
Really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Good luck with your flight.
If you've just joined us, this is special live coverage of NASA's OSIRIS-REx asteroid sample return mission. You might be thinking, this doesn't look like a typical NASA facility. And it's not. In fact, it's because of the extraordinary capabilities that we find here, that we find ourselves in the Utah desert in the first place. We're coming to you live from Army's Dugway Proving Ground. We've got a video postcard to share that will give you a better sense of the glorious desert environment all around us. Take a look. Wow, absolutely gorgeous. The spaces here are vast, rugged, beautiful. I mean, you got to see a little bit from the NASA helicopter, but that was a close-up and personal look.
And look at this. We're in this place that almost looks like Mars, but on Earth, as we're recovering a capsule with the pieces of our universe that will tell us about the early time of our solar system that we can't get anywhere else. And there's the crew out there approaching that beautiful capsule that did the joyful ride from that top of the atmosphere down. 13 minutes of roller coaster riding, and they're getting it safe and ready to start bagging her to come over to the clean room here.
Wow. And explain, why do we do a land landing, as opposed to an ocean landing?
Right. So many of our crews land in the ocean, as you know from Apollo. But for this one, we need to bring it back to a place where we can contain the contamination. By landing in the desert here, we can keep the Earth's ocean, all those absolutely wonderful waters out. This is the best place to bring home this kind of capsule. And look at her. She landed perfectly. Looks like a top sitting there.
Absolutely gorgeous. Well, this isn't the first time that NASA has visited Dugway, and it certainly won't be the last. Take a look. When bringing a sample of the cosmos back to Earth, it's important to find a good landing zone that won't compromise the sample. That's why NASA partnered with the Army's Dugway Proving Ground. Its vast open space makes it ideal for the task. But OSIRIS-REx is neither the first nor the last mission to land here. In 2004, the Genesis mission landed here at Dugway, delivering our first ever samples of solar wind. In 2006, NASA landed at Dugway again, this time with a mission called Stardust, which gathered samples of interstellar dust. Both of these missions helped fuel our understanding of the universe and wouldn't have been possible without a safe landing zone, just like OSIRIS-REx. After today, NASA and Dugway are looking towards the future, to the Mars sample return mission that will once again be bringing a unique sample of our universe right here to Dugway Proving Ground. The U.S. Army and Air Force have been excellent hosts to us for months as we've been preparing for today's landing. That's one of many reasons I'm so pleased to welcome Colonel James Harwell, Army Commander here at Dugway Proving Ground.
Recovery operations. Nominal SRC recovery operations have begun.
An update. Okay. All right, nominal SRC recovery operations have begun. Okay.
Pretty darn good.
All right. Okay, so today could not have gone any better. how did it, I mean, in large part due to our amazing partners here with the military, how did it look from your end?
Oh, it looked amazing. So when you talk about partnerships, this isn't just a Dugway Proving Ground effort. Though you're sitting here on Dugway Proving Ground, the capsule actually landed on the Air Force's Utah Test and Training Range, and so it's going to be brought here to Dugway before it goes to the clean room. So this is a larger effort than just the Army's Dugway Proving Ground and NASA.
And it looks like it might have landed right.
So I got a note just before this from the commander of the Utah Test and Training Range that it did land on Uter. And so there was a little bit of rivalry there. We were hoping, but it looks like it was on Uter.
Right on the boundary, though. Yeah. So close.
So we have a big collaboration at NASA with members from the Army and Navy, from the military services that have given us the opportunity to go to these great places in space ourselves as people. And can you tell us a little about the training and other fantastic things you do prepares these people to be crew for flight into space?
Yeah, so if you look at it, the Army is the greatest leadership lab in the world, the types of problems that we have to solve on a day-to-day basis. And we have some of the best workforce that is available. So here at Dugway Proving Ground, we do chemical and biological defense testing. We're part of the Army's Test and Evaluation Command. And so anytime a piece of equipment is going to go into a service member's hands, it's tested by one of our amazing members of our workforce. But we also do training here. And so it gives a chance for folks to come and do things in a realistic environment. And that really allows them to hone those problem-solving skills.
So that's why the crews are so good who come from the Army and the Navy and Air Force.
Yeah, we'd like to point out it was an Army astronaut this week who went over who set the record.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, we couldn't let you go without wishing you a very happy birthday today. Happy birthday. Today is your birthday, and you got a piece of the solar system. How about that?
I don't think I could have gotten a better present from NASA.
No. And this is the rarest stuff we've ever had on Earth.
It is. And I mean, when we're talking about the origins of life, and that's one of the I have the coolest job in the world. A couple months ago, I was here, and out on the Utah Test and Training Range, we got to go out to an archaeological site and see 12,000-year-old footprints. And now we're going to get to see the material from the origins of the solar system. I think we've set the bar pretty high,
really
and so my kids think I'm cool today. I don't know what we're going to do to top this.
Well, we think you're pretty cool,
yes.
too.
Yes, sir.
And thank you so much for joining us. We've really loved having you.
Thank you so much.
We have a saying at NASA that the only way to reach the stars is if we all go together. The OSIRIS-REx team represents pros at the top of their game, but future explorers are just now finding inspiration in today's events. Here at the Dugway Proving Ground, students attending public school can literally say that a sample of an asteroid landed in their backyard. We visited the school to hear their thoughts about the mission and how their teachers hope it might influence their dreams of future exploration.
My name is Deborah Rockmore, and I am the librarian here at Dugway Elementary through High School. I love that Dugway is part of this. We have a very strong feeling about Dugway. It's a wonderful base. To have it be a prominent area where this is coming down is really amazing to us.
Well, I'm just glad that this little town is getting noticed.
It's a big rock that has kind of like holes in it because they've been flying through the sky with fire. Because it goes really fast.
Honestly, I find it really cool because you don't really expect this stuff to happen, in your backyard. But I really wish I could see it, but I don't know. I'm going to try my hardest.
I became interested in the mission because I have the NASA app, and I get daily updates on photos, and one day I saw a photo that had that Dugway, Utah titled on it, and I was like, I live there. You hear about exciting things all over the world, and it's cool to hear about, but you kind of never think that you'll be, I guess, directly or indirectly involved with it. But to know that it's just happening here within eyesight is pretty cool.
Let's go OSIRIS-REx!
Go OSIRIS-REx!
Let's go OSIRIS-REx!
Let's go OSIRIS-REx!
Let's go OSIRIS-REx!
All right, let's go OSIRIS-REx. I love that energy.
I do too.
All right, Jim, you're a planetary geologist. How did you get into this? I mean, these kids are just at the beginning of thinking about what their career might be. I mean, how did you do this?
I think all kids are intrinsically curious at birth. My mother said I was interested in space at birth. Don't know how she knew. But in any event, I think we all are, and we follow different pathways. If you see things as beautiful as we have here in Dugway, here in Utah, you'll be inspired by the rocks and the things in space, like these special samples we've brought back, which are unique being from Bennu, but not unique in the kinds of materials we have here on Earth, thanks to other asteroid returns. These are the biggest we've ever done, and so we're excited. But I think curiosity is in all of us, and so that's really what it's all about. And these kids are ready to pick up on this energy.
Yeah, we need that future generation. All right, let's get an update from James. James, go ahead.
Yeah, Lauren, so the mission operations team has confirmed that we are able to begin those recovery operations. You've been seeing on your screen in the bottom corner for the past couple minutes, team members beginning to head out and put flags of areas of interest where we'll want to sample for our sample curation team. And also just a note on our parachute deployment, the parachute was set to deploy based on capsule deceleration, and we actually reached that threshold earlier than predicted, and the parachute deployed appropriately. So everything was right there, working perfectly fine. We got that SRC, as you can see, successfully on the ground. It is perfectly resting on the desert terrain, and you see 3 of our team members around that capsule beginning to place flags to begin to collect samples. The team members here you see on screen are Scott Sanford, Dante Loretto, the principal investigator at the right of your screen there, and Francis McCubbin. These are key curation team members who will help us actually get a lot of these samples of the region there, environmental samples, collected and ready to be passed along to our team at the Johnson Space Center for curation efforts there. This is, again, a very key part of the mission. We want to make sure that there is no contamination of that sample return capsule from any possible atmospheric or environmental conditions out at that landing zone, that landing site. And so we're going to continue these operations and actually begin to scoop up some of the samples. And this will work like a well-oiled machine you'll see in a few moments. Dante, who was just on your screen a few moments ago, is wearing an armband, much like a football quarterback, if you will. He'll actually be kind of reading off the play calls as they go out and go step by step to actually scoop into the terrain about an inch down into the surface of the desert, scooping out a little bit of the rock and dust that's there, placing it into a bag, photographing the whole process along the way, making note of exactly where they collected that sample from. All this information will then be passed along to our sample curation team at the Johnson Space Center as they begin to actually open up that sample canister and see exactly what we got within. This has been a long journey. It's been an incredible morning to witness this live. Just such a stunning feat of engineering to get that capsule back here to Earth with samples of the asteroid Bennu. This is why we do science, right? To get these kinds of samples, every piece of dust and grain inside that sample return capsule is a PhD thesis waiting to be written. It's a new discovery waiting for us about the origins of the solar system and our place in it. And the vast majority of that sample, more than 70% of that sample, is actually going to be stowed away for future analysis. We did the same exact thing with the Apollo missions when we brought back rocks from the moon. A large quantity of those rocks and dust from the moon our astronauts brought back were stowed away for future generations with the expectation that our technology would continue to improve and improve and improve, and then we'd be able to ask questions that we couldn't even begin to fathom. And now the same thing we'll be doing with the OSIRIS-REx samples that we brought back from the asteroid Bennu. A lot of these will be opened up 50 years from now with scientists who are yet to be born asking questions we can't even begin to imagine. So our team is just huddling off screen now, and our recovery operations will begin. You'll see a number of team members come out here. They'll be carrying with them a carrying fixture. It's a large metal fixture that has been perfectly designed to have our SRC resting within. They'll be bringing out a lot of thermal blanketing that will be used to protect our SRC during its flight back to the clean room here. Again, we want to make sure that that SRC is safe from any kind of possible contamination from the atmosphere. So they're going to do an excellent job of actually wrapping this SRC up and getting it prepared to transport to our portable clean room. That actual operation of getting that SRC bagged and stowed